Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are on the very last chapter of this book, Perfect Question, Perfect Answers. Chapter 9, Deciding the Future. So as we saw, chapter 1 to 7, interactions of Bob and Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur in February. Chapter 8 was an exchange of letters, interaction between Prabhupada and Bob in June. And there they were mentioning that, Bob said that he's in New York, New Jersey, and Prabhupada said that he'll be coming to New York. Maybe they can meet up. So chapter 9, we're going to see their meetup. And this is in July, just around 15, 20 days after the exchange of letters. So chapter 9 is entitled Deciding for the Future, New York, July 4th, 1972. Bob meets Srila Prabhupada in person and he says, I received your very kind letter about a week ago. Right? They met in June 12, June 14, right? So around 15, 20 days, right? So it took some time for the letter to reach back. Prabhupada says, you're a very intelligent boy. Try to understand this philosophy. It is very important. People are wasting so much energy for sense gratification. They are not aware of what is going to happen in the next life. There is a next life, but foolish people are ignorant. This life is a preparation for the next life. They do not know. The modern education and its universities are completely in darkness about this simple knowledge. We are changing bodies every moment. That is a medical fact. Right? Medicine, they also say that cells in the body, every 7 years, practically, you get a totally new body. After leaving this body, we'll have to accept another body. How are we going to accept that body? What kind of body? This can also be known. For example, if someone is being educated, one can understand that when he passes his examination, he's going to be an engineer or a medical practitioner. Right? If someone is sitting for a engineering board exam, then one knows he's going to be an engineer. If one is sitting for an MD or MBBS paper, one knows he's going to be a medical student. Similarly, in this life, you can prepare yourself to become something in the next life. So here's Barbara, and Barbara is Bob's wife. Okay, so she starts asking. So it's nice. This chapter is about interaction now with Barbara. She comes and gets her interactions with Srila Prabhupada. So she asks a question: can we decide what we want to be in the next life? Prabhupada says, yes, you can decide. We have decided that in the next life, we are going to Krishna. That is our decision, to go back home, back to Godhead. Suppose you decide that you are going to be an engineer or medical practitioner. With that objective, you prepare and educate yourself. Similarly, you can decide what you're going to do in the next life. But if you do not decide, very important point, then nature, material nature will decide for you. Okay? One just lives life, do whatever one wants, thinking that I'm the master, I'm the controller. Actually, you're not. Nature then will decide what kind of birth we get in the next life. Barbara starts asking, could I have been a Krishna conscious person in my last life? Is it possible that in my last life I was a Krishna devotee and have come back again? Because she's having some sentiments or inclination towards Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said it does not matter. Right? Stop thinking about the past. Now, many people, when they come to us, they keep asking that. What was I in my last life? Was I this? Was I that? Did I do this? Did I do that? Prabhupada said it does not matter. But you can become a Krishna devotee now. Take advantage of our Krishna conscious movement. When one is perfectly Krishna conscious, then he does not come back, does not take birth again. But if there is a little deficiency, then there is a possibility of coming back. But even though there is a deficiency, he comes back to a nice family. Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yogo Brashto Vijayate. So we have seen this shloka in the previous readings. This is the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 41, where if someone falls down from the path of spirituality, he gets an option. He will be born in a Suchinam, in a high piety or very pious family, Shrimatam, in a very rich family, where he gets all facilities to advance his life, especially spiritual life. Right? The translation here is the unsuccessful yogi takes birth in a religious or aristocratic family. So human intelligence can decide for the future. An animal cannot. We have discriminatory power. If I do this, I'll be benefited. If I do that, I will not be benefited. This power is there in human life. So you have to use it properly. You should know what is the goal of life and decide in that way. That is human civilization. So human civilization is a simple life, very thoughtful life. But unfortunately, with all the modern advancement, we are simply living, right? And thoughtless. We do not know where we're going, what we're doing. So we should live a simple life, thoughtful life, but we're simply living without any thought. Barbara asks a question. Have you seen Krishna? Have you ever seen Krishna? Srila Prabhupada says, yes, very confidently. Barbara said, you have? She didn't expect that probably. Prabhupada says, daily, at every moment. Barbara says, but not in the material body. Prabhupada says, Krishna has no material body. Barbara says, well, in the temple, they have pictures of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, that is not a material body. You are seeing materially because you have material eyes. Because you have material eyes, you cannot see the spiritual platform. Like Prabhupada used to say, he can see the deity moving and dancing. For us, we just see Krishna standing like that. But spiritual vision, they can see the Lord dancing, moving, reciprocating. Therefore, Krishna kindly appears to be in a material body so that you can see him. But because he has kindly made himself just fit for your seeing, does not mean that he has a material body. So Krishna's out of his great kindness, he comes in the form of a deity, does not mean that Krishna is made of matter. That is out of his great causeless mercy. He is transcendental. Suppose the President of United States kindly comes to your house, right? The President of United States walks in your living room, sits on your sofa, right? And probably drinks tea from your cup. That does not mean that his position and your position are the same. That is his kindness. That is magnanimity. Out of love, he may come to your house, but that does not mean that he is on the same level as you. Similarly, because we cannot see Krishna with our present eyes, he therefore appears before us as a painting or as a form made of stone or wood. And Krishna is non-different from the paintings and wood because everything is Krishna. Right? So Krishna has come in this material form so that we can perceive him, serve him, reciprocate with him, right? Understand him, and slowly purify our existence. But when he comes, he is non-different from these forms because he has spiritualized those forms. Barbara asks, after we die, what happens to our spirit? So Prabhupada says, you get another body. Barbara says, immediately? Prabhupada says, yes. It is just like when you change apartments. Okay, before you leave this house, you already find another house. You fix up your new apartment first, then you leave this one and go there. So it's a very interesting, simple example. Remember in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 29th chapter, text 76, 77, beautiful analogy is given how the jiva changes bodies. The caterpillar transports himself from one leaf to another by capturing one leaf before giving up the other. The caterpillar hooks on to a new leaf, then it gives up the old leaf. Similarly, according to his previous work, according to the karmas, the living entity jiva must capture onto another body, right? He already creates the conceptions, the minds, the future life of another body before giving up one he has. So before leaving this body, before death occurs, subtly the already future bodies have been created because the mind is the reservoir of all desires. So that's why Prabhupada says, before you give up this apartment, you already chose which apartment you're going to stay in. So Barbara says, so do we know what type of body we will get? Prabhupada says, yes, you can know if you become qualified. Those who are qualified know. But those who do not know, nature will arrange things. So qualified means if you become a nice devotee, you know you're going back home back to Godhead. You'll get a devotee body, a better body. But those who neglect this, then nature takes course. If you do not know, that means you have not prepared your life. Right? Someone fills an exam, competitive exam, and says that, whatever I get, I'll get. That means he's not prepared for it. Or he's planning that, no, I will become an engineer. So at the time of death, your mentality will create another body and nature will supply it. Bob now asks a question. If Krishna controls everything, how does Krishna control a non-devotee? Prabhupada says, by Maya. Krishna controls this world just as the government controls everything. The kingdom is controlled by the king's departments. And how does Krishna control a devotee? Bob says, just as you control your beloved. For example, if you have a beloved child, you control him for his benefit. If he's going to touch fire, you will immediately tell him, no, no, my dear child, don't touch it. So a Krishna conscious person, a devotee, is never misled because Krishna is always guiding him. Whereas those who are not Krishna conscious are in charge of Maya, and Maya will do the needful, as you have seen. Bob asks, is the time that we will die preset when we are born? When I am born, do I have a certain lifespan? Is it fixed? Ayu, what they say in Sanskrit? Prabhupada says yes. Okay, how many life breaths we take, that is fixed based on our karma. So then one devotee sitting there, he cannot change that. Can he change his lifespan, for example? Srila Prabhupada says, no, he cannot change it, but Krishna can change it. So we do not have the power to change what we have got. But Krishna, if he wants, he can change it. Devotee asked a very nice question. If he commits suicide, is that also preset? Is already someone who commits suicide, is that also predestined? Srila Prabhupada says, no, not preset. That you can do because you have a little independence. So although you have a certain amount of lifespan, if a person wants to end it, he can. It is not natural to commit suicide, Prabhupada says. But because we have independence, we can go from nature to unnature, natural to unnatural. A prisoner cannot go out of the prison house naturally. But if somehow or other he arranges to jump over the wall and escapes, then he becomes further eligible for further imprisonment. Beautiful example. So a person committing suicide is like a prisoner running out of jail, trying to run out the wrong way, jumping the wall. He should come out of the prison the natural way, the proper way, right? By reforming himself. Prabhupada says he will be again arrested and the term of imprisonment will be increased. He'll get further punishment. So naturally, we cannot violate destiny. But if we do it, then we will suffer. So Shastras mentioned that if a person commits suicide, because his body is given by God, if we do not use it to redeem or improve ourselves, then we break this body, which is a property of God, then one becomes a ghost. And one has to move around and suffer in that ethereal body. But our destiny can be changed by Krishna when we are Krishna conscious, right? Just like some prisoners, when they have good behavior, the king or some big president might come and forgive the prisoner, right? Because he has good conduct. We do not do it, but Krishna will do it. Krishna says, Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. I shall give you protection. That change takes place for my protection. Right. So this is 18 chapter 66 verse of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, don't worry, aham tvam sarvapapepyo mokshayishyami. I'll settle all your debts, your papa. Prabhupada continues to say there are two categories, non-devotee and devotee. The non-devotee is under the control of material nature, and the devotee is under the direct control of Krishna. There are many employees in a big company, and they are controlled by the head of the company to different departmental superintendents. But although outside of home, he controls his employees indirectly, the same man at home is controlling his children directly, but he is always a controller. So there's a difference between employees and children. Both the men are controlling. One is indirectly through salary and job satisfaction and all, and other is directly through love. Similarly, God is always the controller. When one becomes a devotee, that means becoming the child of God, he is controlled by God. And one becomes a non-devotee, tries to become the employee, he is controlled by God's agent, Maya. But one has to be controlled. For example, every citizen of America is controlled by the government. When a citizen is all right, the civil department controls him. And when he is not all right, he's a menace, the criminal department controls him. But he cannot say, I am not controlled. That is not possible. Everyone is controlled. If someone says, I am not controlled, he is crazy, Prabhupada says. Everyone is controlled. So either you will be controlled directly by God, or you will be controlled by his agent Maya. The beautiful analogy Prabhupada is giving of employee and child, of civil and criminal. If you choose to be controlled by Maya, you spoil your life. You remain in material existence, birth after birth, changing your bodies. But if you choose to be controlled by God, then after this body, you go back home, back to Godhead. Then your life is successful. You cannot exist without being controlled. That is not possible. So a person says that I beyond control. That's not possible. Either as a son or either as an employee. Either as a civilian or either as a criminal. Intelligence means to choose to be controlled by Krishna. That is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. After many births of speculating, one surrenders unto me. Vasudeva sarvamiti. One thinks, Krishna, you are everything. I have come before you. Please accept me. Now I am fully surrendered unto you. So please control me. We want to be controlled by Krishna because we want to be children of Krishna. For so long, I have been controlled by the rascal senses without any benefit. Under the control of the senses, I have served so-called family, society, country, nation, up to serving the dogs. But nothing has given me satisfaction. What a powerful prayer. But now I have had the good sense to put myself under your control. Instead of being controlled by dog, let me be controlled by God. That is Krishna consciousness. This is Krishna consciousness. Have you not seen how a man is controlled by a dog? Prabhupada remembers this. In the street, the dog stops to pass stool and his master will stand and wait. Is it not? The dog is passing stool and urine and the man is thinking, I am the master. But he is being controlled by the dog. That is Maya. What do you think? Has he not become controlled by the dog? Right? When the dog stops, the man has to stop. When the dog runs this way, the man has to run this. The man thinks, I'm the owner of the dog, but he's the servant of the dog. Some countries also, they don't allow dog litter here and there. They don't allow dog to poop, pass stool here and there. There's a regulation that if your dog passes stool here and there, you will be fined. So many people overseas, they carry a bag or scoop. Wherever their dog passes stool, they scoop it up, put it in a bag. So are they masters of the dog? Are they servants of the dog? Bob, that is so. Robert continues, but he is thinking, I am the master of the dog. A family man is controlled by his wife, his children, his servants, everyone, but he is thinking, I am the master. President Nixon is thinking that he is the master of this country, but he is controlled. At once, he can be dismissed by the public, his servants. An election time, he will take a position claiming, I will give you very good service, and I shall be a first-class servant. Therefore, people vote. All right, you become president. And he's advertising, re-elect me, re-elect me. That means he's a servant. Right? But he is thinking, I am the master. That is illusion, Maya. One who is controlled by Maya thinks himself the master while he is the servant. But a devotee never thinks, I am the master. Only I am Krishna's servant. That is mukti, liberation. A devotee never controlled by false thoughts. He knows his position. Swarupena vyavastiti. We just saw this also, right? What is the definition of mukti? The definition of mukti is swarupena vyavastiti. Real liberation means to be reinstated in our natural position as servants of the Lord. Mukti liberation means to be situated in one's own constitutional position as the servant of Krishna. So if I know that I am a servant of Krishna, that is my liberation. And if I think that I am the master, that is the bondage. That is the difference between liberated life and conditional life. So these Krishna conscious devotees are always thinking that they are servants of Krishna. Therefore, they are all liberated. They do not endeavor for liberation. They are already liberated because they are situated in their constitutional position. They are functioning from the platform of soul. Bob asked a question. Prabhupada, some religious people claim that Jesus is guiding them. Can this be so? Prabhupada says, yes, but they are not taking the guidance. Jesus is guiding the Christians, telling them, thou shalt not kill, but they are killing. So how are they following Jesus' guidance? Simply saying, I am guided by Jesus Christ, but I don't care for his words. Will that do? Is that guidance? Nobody is being guided by Jesus Christ. Their claim is false. The Prabhupada says that one can become guided by Jesus Christ, but those who are claiming are false because they are maintaining all this killing. It's very hard for a man who is actually being guided by Jesus Christ. It's very hard to find a man, very hard to find a person who's actually a follower of Christ. Jesus Christ's guidance is available, but nobody is caring for him. They have taken Jesus Christ as a contractor to take up their sins, right? Who will take our sins? Okay, Jesus Christ. That is their philosophy. They commit all kinds of sins and poor Jesus Christ will be responsible. That is their religion. Therefore, they say, we have a very good religion for all our sinful activities. Jesus Christ will die. Because again and again, they keep repeating that Jesus has died for our sins. Jesus has died for our sins. Then why are people committing sins more? Is that a good religion? They have no sympathy for Jesus Christ. If they did, they would think he has died for our sins. Why should we commit sins again? Such a great life has been sacrificed for our life sins. So we should be guided by Jesus Christ. But they take it otherwise. I shall go on committing all sins, and Jesus Christ will make a contract to nullify my sins. I'll simply go to the church and confess and come back and do all nonsense. Do you think that is a very good intelligence? Right? No, Bob says. Srila Prabhupada continues. One who is actually guided by Jesus Christ will certainly get liberation. But it is a very hard to find a man who is actually being guided by Christ. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that even if someone is following another path, but actually he's a true follower, sincere follower, he may get liberation. But it's very hard to find such a sincere, true follower. There are even many Christians who become pure vegetarians. It happens. Bob, what about the Jesus freaks? Young people who read Bible very often. Srila Prabhupada says, violence is against the Bible's injunction. Then how can they kill if they're following the Bible? They're reading the Bible and one should not be violent. But how can they kill? Bob says, they claim that Bible says Jesus ate meat. Prabhupada says, that's all right. He may eat anything. He is powerful. But he has ordered, thou shalt not kill. So here Prabhupada is saying that forget the personal action, because sometimes the personal action of a person cannot be judged. We do not understand, right? See someone walking up and down, sitting, standing. They may have some reason. So we don't know. We can't understand the actions of a person, but we can understand the instructions very clearly. So here Jesus has said, thou shalt not kill. You must stop killing. He is powerful. He can eat the whole world. Prabhupada says Christ can eat veg, non-veg, whatever you want to do. He's Christ. But you cannot compare yourself to Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate him. Isn't it? Sometimes in our life, we see people, they may do some opposite actions, but they tell us, you don't follow me. Right? Because they are great people. You have to abide by his order. Then you are guided by Jesus Christ. That is actual obedience. The Bhagavatam explains that one who is an Ishvara, empowered, can do anything, but that we cannot imitate. We have to abide by his order. Admitting that Jesus ate meat, you do not know under what conditions he ate meat. He advised others not to kill, yet he himself ate meat. Do you think Jesus Christ was contradicting himself? Right? We see the picture of Christ standing with all the animals around him, showing love and care. So much, isn't it? Care for other living beings. And that same person is eating meat. The Prabhupada puts this to Bob. Bob says, no. Srila Prabhupada says he cannot do that. Nowadays in the world, they are claiming that Lord Ram ate meat. Can you imagine the height of it? So this is real faith in him to understand that he cannot do that. So why did he eat meat? He has his reasons why. But he has asked me not to kill. So the instruction is more important than the action. Therefore, I have to follow. That is the real system. You are not Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate him. He has sacrificed his life for God. Can you do that? Why imitate Jesus Christ only by eating meat? Why not imitate Jesus Christ by sacrificing your life and spreading God consciousness? So very beautiful answer. Sometimes people say the same about Lord Ram. No? See, Lord Ram also ate meat. Lord Ram also sacrificed his life, took only one wife, dedicated his life so much, he's doing. Can you be like that? Why only follow one thing? They are so-called Christians, but what are they doing for God? Consider the sun is absorbing urine. Can you drink urine? If you want to imitate the sun and drink urine, can you? Similarly, Jesus Christ is so powerful, he can do anything. He's like the sun. But we cannot imitate. We have to simply abide by the order. That is real Christianity. It is wrong to imitate a powerful man. There's a saying in Bhagavatam, Teji asam na doshaye. Right? Someone who's very powerful, they have no mistake, they have no fault. Our Vedic Shastra describes that once there was an ocean of poison and no one knew what to do with it. Then Lord Shiva says, all right, I will drink it, the halahal poison. So he drank the whole poison in the ocean and kept it in his throat. He's called Neelakanta. Now, can you drink the poison? Not the whole ocean, just one cup. Lord Shiva never advised that we drink poison. Lord Shiva never say that I am taking poison, you also take poison. So you have to abide by his advice, not imitate him. These LSD and marijuana people say that Lord Shiva used to smoke ganja, hashish. But Lord Shiva drank a whole ocean of poison. Can you prove that? So many people know in Varanasi, in Kashi, they say, we have a ganja loving God. Shiva, Lord Shiva took ganja. They say like this, but Lord Shiva also drank the halahal kala kuta, the poison from the ocean. Can you do that? It is Lord Shiva's instruction that should be followed, not his example of smoking ganja. When Parvati asked him the best method of worship, he said, Vishnu Aradhanam Param, the topmost method of worship, right? There are many demigods, but he recommended Vishnu worship as the best. Vishnu Aradhanam Param. The Vishnu worship is best. And better than Vishnu worship, he said, is the worship of Vaishnavas. The exact word he used is Tadiyanam Samarcharam. Those who are in relation to Vishnu, Tadiyanam. For instance, we worship the Tulsi plant. We do not worship all plants, but because Tulsi has very intimate connection with Krishna or Vishnu, we worship her. Similarly, if anything is intimately related to Krishna, worship of that thing is better than worship of Vishnu himself. Baba asks, why is that? Why is worshipping something in connection better than the person himself? Prabhupada says, because Krishna is pleased. Right? So sometimes people say, no, show your love for me by loving my dog. Love a man, love a dog, love a man, love his dog. They'll say like that. So the man becomes very happy that if you show affection to things which I like. So that's the best way to actually, please a person. Suppose you have a dog and some friend comes and pats your dog and says, my, what a nice dog you have. Srila Prabhupada makes big patting motions. That means general laughter. You can become pleased. You think, oh, he's a good friend because he likes my dog. You see, some Indian people start entering the room. Prabhupada says, please have prasadam. So Srila Prabhupada continues speaking with his guests, sometimes in English, sometimes in Hindi. It is his last day in New York, and his plane to London is scheduled to leave in only a few hours. Bob has brought a car to drive Srila Prabhupada to Kennedy Airport. So service is also doing. The devotees are scurrying about, bringing luggage to the car, putting the manuscripts of Srila Prabhupada's latest translation work in order, and making the other last-minute arrangements. Shyam Sundar then says, everything's ready, Srila Prabhupada. The car is waiting for us. Srila Prabhupada says, so we can go now? All right. Hare Krishna. So this is the end of this book. Beautiful, beautiful narrations and dealings that we are seeing between Bob Cohen and Srila Prabhupada. So please check out the introduction video, right? About this book, the background to this book, background to Bob Cohen, that will set the mood. And then we can see through each chapters, and it's a wonderful learning. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.